Hello, everybody. My guest today is Jay Tokosch. He's a technology entrepreneur. He likes to transform ideas into working business models with multiple revenue streams. Today, he's the CEO of Core Apps, a technology software provider for the event industry. The Core Apps brand is well recognized as an innovator of software technology for the events space. Jay, you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So first off, are you guys a pure play SaaS company or no? You're like per event based pricing?
We're per event pricing. That's the way that we do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Because each event is a little different, so that kind of made sense to go that way.
Yeah, no, we've had a bunch of people on in the event industry, all the way up, like Reggie from C-Event came on, to the Social Table CEO, who you probably know because they're in your area. And it's like, it's not quite SaaS because it's like one conference in July, then cancel till next July, and then come back to July after.
Well, it's not only that. You get the situation where some are big trade shows and others are just educational conferences and don't need all the bells and whistles that the big trade shows do.
Yeah. Okay, so help us understand what you do that's different than other event kind of management software.
Yeah, so what we do is we take and we control the mobile app space from that standpoint. So having all of the information that would normally find in a product guide, but then also interactive maps that'll route you around the trade show floor. We have it set up so that we can handle very complex data that you might get into for medical events with posters and abstracts and multiple presenters and all of that good stuff. And then on the event management side, what we do differently there is, so when you go to a trade show, someone has to manage the booth sales for that. And someone has to manage that floor space and control all of that. And that's what our software does there.
Interesting. Okay. And then the average event pays you how much to be used at the event?
Oh, it just depends. I mean, we could be anywhere from a couple of $1,000s up to, say, $50,000. It just depends on all the functionality and features that they need and
what's
what
a
they're
sweet
using.
spot? Though, Jay, just because we don't have time to go down every cohort, would you say like $5,000?
A sweet spot is probably in that $10,000 to $15,000 range.
Okay, and for $10,000, what am I probably getting at that event?
You're getting a mobile app that will have a interactive trade show floor that will route you around and have pretty much most of the bells and whistles that you need.
The event organizer pays for this, and you give it for free to the consumers that are attending the trade shows so they can navigate easier?
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's the model.
And sucking up the data and giving it back to the event organizer?
Yep, exactly. All the analytics. Exactly. Then there's also some sponsorship opportunities inside of there where we both make money and things of that nature too.
When did you launch the company? What year?
2009. So we're going on our 10th year anniversary here in March.
Congrats. That's great. Now, have you bootstrapped it or did you decide to raise capital?
We did. We bootstrapped it. This is Core Apps was my sixth company. And I've been familiar with starting and getting things going and then selling them off. And normally I do that in about a 5 to 7 year range, but we love this industry so much that we kept it on and stuck it around.
That's great. So over the past 12 months, how many events did you work with?
Last year, well, we have a little over 800 clients and we did probably in the neighborhood of a little over 1,500 mobile apps.
Okay, 1,500 mobile apps. That's great. Now, I mean, can I take 1,500 times that price point you just gave me, right? Average of, call it $10,000?
No, sadly you can't. So from the mobile app standpoint, let me give you the range. So we have one that's like 3,250. 3,250. That's more for a smaller event that's very education focused, no exhibitors, just straight sessions and speakers, all the way up to $15,000. That could be your, big time trade show having, something like a showcase of products in it.
Got it.
And
so again, you have a ton of different cohorts here. I can't go down every one of them. So last year, 1,500 events, how much money did you make from those events?
Last year we did like 7 mil.
Okay, that's pretty good. So your average really is, look, so I'm actually going to figure that out real quick, right? So 1,500 events. Yeah. You do about 4,500-ish per event. That puts you at $7 million.
Yep.
Do you have any major costs on that or no?
No, the good news is that while we're not really SaaS software, we are using a template. So it is the same software that we're using across the board for all of them. It's just how we tweak it to make it work, what things we turn on and what things we turn off.
Yep. If you compare the, 2017 events to the 2018 events, how many of them churned, meaning they used it in 2017 but not 2018?
Well, the good news is that we have a really high retention rate. So we're about 95% retention rate.
That's pretty good. On a logo basis or revenue basis?
That's on it's on a revenue basis as well as the other, because it kind of corresponds with each other. But yeah, we don't lose a lot of clients. We have a good customer retention rate, and that's because of the people who work for us really know the industry well and work well with the industry people.
Yeah. So look, you do have a SaaS business. It's just not, you can't measure it monthly. You have to measure on an annual basis. You
do. And we do have a SaaS business in that it is the same software that's being used over and over again. It's just not always used the same way every single time like a typical SaaS, right? Sure.
And so before 28, I want to get growth rate here. So 2018, you do 7. What did you do the year before?
We had double-digit growth. We were at about 5.4.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so 5.4 up to 7. That's, again, nice growth. And again, I love that you're doing this bootstrap. So where are you getting this growth from? How are you signing up new customers?
We went back in 2017, towards the end of 2017 and 2018, and we went back into our customer base and with a very definitive, narrow look at our customers and said, there's a lot that they're not using that we provide, and we need to make sure that they understand all of the offerings that we had. So we really had a big growth spurt within our own customer base. We had our normal growth that we get with signing up new customers. But honestly, in 2018, that growth spurt really stayed within our customer base.
Mm-hmm. No, that makes good sense. Now, when you go in, your first 5 customers, tell us the story of how you hustled and scratched your claws and landed those guys.
Oh my God, this is a good story. So in 2009, I had this idea of doing a mobile app. We were actually at CES, and we were trying to find, CES is a massive show, consumer electronics show, massive show, and we were trying to find some particular exhibitors. And I was with one of my business partners at the time. We weren't business partners at that time, but we were there. We couldn't find them, and I said, if there was a mobile app, and I had my Apple 3G with me, and I said, if there was a mobile app that could locate these people, that would be fantastic. And through the rest of that time, we designed up what it would look like and decided to move forward with it. I funded the company. We got it going. We brought in who became one of our other business partners into this to develop it. He had done mobile apps before, and we got that started. The first customer I signed, and I thought CES was the big show that was out there, and it still is a very, very big show, but there's one that happens every 3 years that's a little bit larger and just a little bit bigger, called ConExpo ConAg, with the Association of Equipment Manufacturers. And I met the woman at a trade show, and she loved what we were doing. And she said, I'm going to give you guys a shot. Let's do it. And I was doing it with smoke and mirrors, baby. We were doing screenshots on a big display and showing it and talking about where it was going to go and what it was going to do. And she loved it. And she said, yep, we're going to have you do the smaller show, which, by the way, happens to still be very large in the industry. It's still in the top 100.
How many people? How many attendees?
Oh, that show had 60,000 attendees.
Okay, so what did she pay you to do that first one?
That first one, I think we charged her in total $15,000 for the 2 shows. We were so happy to get the business.
And what timeline did you give yourself from selling the vision, which didn't exist, but you're selling the idea to test it, and she says, okay, I'm in. And then you're like, oh shit, I have to build this thing. How much time did you have to actually get it done and built?
So we sold it in the April, May timeframe, and we had to deliver it in October.
Woo. Okay, and how many people were on the team? Just the one CTO, co-founder?
At that time, there were 2 developers who, fortunately, like I said, because of the screenshots, we were well on our way. But yes, they had to get that done and had to deliver it.
That's crazy.
And then that January was their big show, which was 3 million square feet, over 120,000 people on our second app.
That's crazy. And what's your team size today?
Team size today is 50 people.
50?
we run anywhere from 50 to 52 people, just depending. But that's our team size.
All in Maryland?
No, we're a virtual company, 100% virtual. Everyone works from home.
That's great.
So we're all across the U.S.
That's great. Now, what pricing axes do you use to get people to, pay a little bit more than they paid you last year? Is it just number of attendees they have, or square footage the event covers, or vendor booths, or what?
Yeah, no, we do. We've actually been able to keep the pricing about the same. It really comes down to more features or functionality is what they want to go for. What's happened for us is that when we started out, everybody was happy for us to just deliver an app or software that replaced their product guide. And now they're coming to us recognizing that technology can solve a lot of issues for them. And they're asking for more, for us to do more and more complex data. So that's where we're sort of getting our increases.
Interesting. Okay. And to get a new customer that pays you, call it $4,500 for their first conference, what's your fully weighted CAC look like today?
Fully weighted.
So like including your marketing and sales, CAC, customer acquisition cost.
Yeah. So it's somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2,200.
Okay, so you get paid back on that first payment. That's decent.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. No, it's really good. And where is most of that money going towards? The sales team commission or PPC ads or Google or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have sales team commission, obviously, because I like to pay people based on performance. So I'm big about that. But it goes back into, a lot of it goes back into R&D for the next piece. Right now we're working very hard on augmented reality within the app and within a single app itself. And that's taken up a lot of R&D, but we estimate that we'll do another $1 million to $1.2 million this year just alone in augmented reality sales.
That's great. Very good. All right, Jay, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
My favorite business book is, what is it called? Works?
Rework.
Rework. That's it. Yes.
Yeah. Rework by Jason Fried.
I pull it up and read it all the time. It's a great read. I can do it on a plane in about 2 hours.
And number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I think I really kind of admire Bezos and what he's done there with Amazon, because when it started, I thought it would never make it.
That's so funny. All right, number three, what's your favorite online tool for building the company?
I don't want to say it's my favorite, but it's the one that I use the most is Salesforce.
Yep. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
I try to get at least 7.
7. Okay. Hey, actually, last question here before we wrap up. Social Table sold to Cvent. Cvent has unlimited capital behind them. It would shock me if you have not had conversations with them. Why haven't you sold to them yet?
Cvent is kind of like the big boy, and we've kind of been that independent. So I'm not saying that we're not talking to someone.
Yeah. I mean, the reason is I know what Cvent in terms of multiples Vista likes to pay. I mean, you look at the Marketo deal, you look at other deals they've done. It's usually between 7 and 10x, which means for you, that'd be like 50 to 80 million bucks or something like that. Sure. I imagine, are you married?
Yes.
I imagine I would be curious to what your wife's reaction would be if you said, honey, I just turned down an $80 million acquisition offer today.
Yeah. No, she would slap me. No question about that. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, hey, we're absolutely willing to talk to Cvent. I've had discussions with Reggie years ago. They didn't work out, but we're always open to it.
Yeah, that's smart. Okay, good. And then, so married, any kids?
Yeah, I have 3 boys. 2 of them work for the company. One is my top sales rep.
Amazing. Okay, 3 boys. And how old are you?
I'm 57.
Okay, last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
Oh, my God. I wish my 20-year-old self was as confident as I am today.
Guys, have more confidence earlier on. Coming from Jay, again, launched many different things and then said, you know what, I'm going to do this core apps thing. Pre-sold a vision off screenshots, right, to an event that he said he could build an app for. It has 60,000 people there. They only had 5-6 months to build it. Anyways, he got the deal closed. That was the start of everything. Now 1,500 event organizers basically put their mobile apps through him every single year. They pay on average $4,500 for those apps. So they did $7 million last year. They did about 5.3 the year before that. So healthy growth. And I love this, totally bootstrapped. 50 people completely remote, 5% revenue churn annually, so about 95% net revenue retention because there's not a ton of expansion revenue yet. $2,200 to acquire a customer for about a 6-month payback period as they look to continue to scale. Jay, thanks for taking us to the top.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, Nathan.